guys, Ash here, and in this episode I'm going to share a replay by my clanmate Burke, who's using a simple composition of giants with GiBarch, and he's going to show you just how easy it is to break into bases with this composition. Now, when using giants, it's critical that you carry wall breakers, because controlling the giants to go towards the direction you want them to go is difficult, as giants are easily funneled in by defenses, and knowing that most people deceptively place their defenses in ways to prevent your giants from wreaking havoc inside their base. So, for example, if we were to break into the first layer of this base with a few wall breakers, then you can see that the defenses are well placed around the base without any walls separating them, which basically means that giants will move around this base as they target all these point defenses. So is this a base you should avoid attacking with giants? Absolutely not, because this base is actually a prime example of a base where the core is exploitable by tanks, typically giants. Why? Because look at the interior portion of this base. What do you see? This base is flaunted by wizard towers, mortars, and air defenses, without any empty tile spaces or point defenses inside the core. All the point defenses are dreadfully placed in the perimeter of the base, and this ultimately means that if we can direct our giants inside the base, then we can truly demolish everything in the center by first distracting all the splash defenses or destroying them with giants, and then just having a field day with our barbarians and archers. And what's astonishing to me is that these types of bases are not uncommon. I see these types of bases everywhere. Bases with point defenses on the outside of the base, and splash and air defenses inside the core of the base. So if the core of your base is having problems with compositions against giants and barbarian king, then you should probably think about placing more point defenses in your core. Teslas are one of the best point defenses and are, in my opinion, excellent for protecting the core of a Town Hall 8 or 9 base against hero based attacks. A good mixture of point defenses and splash defenses are what makes a base great. And always have a good funneling system that allows giants or hog riders or balloons from not traveling directly inside the core of your base. Now back to our game plan. The first thing you need to do, of course, is check the clan castle and see if it can be triggered. Here's something I've made to give you guys a better picture of how the clan castle's radius looks like and how easy it is to count the tiles for its radius. So as you can see, if we were to count horizontally or vertically, then we will need to count 8.5 diagonal tiles. However, if we're counting this way, diagonally, then we would have to count the normal 12 tiles. So for example, 1 and 3 more tiles, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8.5. Same way vertically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5. And if we were to count this way, the normal way, then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 tile radius. So for this particular base, the closest position of triggering the clan castle is from these two sides, here and here. So if we can send out a giant from either of these sides, the giants will neglect these outside buildings and attack the wall that's enclosing one of these defenses, because giants love to target defenses. So if the clan castle can be triggered this way by sending out a giant, then that would make our lives a lot easier disposing quite possibly a big threat. So let's quickly count the tiles and see whether this clan castle can be triggered in any of these two directions. So first let's count this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, because the clan castle's radius is 12 tiles and this is 13, so the giant can't lure the clan castle if we were to spawn a giant from this side. So what about vertically? Vertically we have to count 8 tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5. So basically here. But if we were to send out a giant here, the giant will not target this wall. The giant's gonna target this because this defense is closer. So basically the giant will target this wall, and if you can see, it's not gonna be able to trigger that clan castle because it's barely just touching the radius. So yeah, we can't just send in a giant to trigger it. So in that case, since we cannot easily or safely lure that clan castle by sending out a giant from the top, then what we can do is send out one giant here, and then immediately behind him send out a pair of wall breakers to break into this layer, allowing the giant to cross the radius of that clan castle, triggering and luring any possible clan castle threats. We can then target this town hall with a bunch of barbarians, forcing the clan castle troops to move over there so we can safely remove them with our barbarians and archers without getting targeted by any of the defenses. Then, since we've already broken through this layer, we're going to send in more giants and time that mortar because it launches every 5 seconds, and then we're going to send in another pair of wall breakers to quickly break into the second layer. This is crucial because if you don't break into that layer, then all our giants are going to move towards the perimeter of the base, targeting these point defenses. So we don't want to take any risks. What we're going to do is place a well-placed rage spell right here to direct our wall breakers and giants towards the center of this base. And at the same time, we're gonna also send in our barbarians and archers along the outside buildings of this space so they can remove these outside buildings and also allow our barbarian king to go towards the middle, because like barbarians, the barbarian king loves to target the closest building. So we want to get rid of these outside buildings first so we can direct him inside. And while the splash defenses are distracted by our giants and barbarian king, as splash defenses they can't even scratch tanks. So we will constantly and rapidly spawn groups of barbarians and archers behind them inside the base along the broken paths created by the giants and the barbarian king. Now another very important reason we want to place the rage spell here is because there are these high HP structures protecting the path of that dark elixir storage. So yeah, we want to get rid of those high HP buildings. The gold storages, elixir storage, clan castle, and that air defense all have high HP. We want to get rid of them as fast as possible with rage spell so our troops can direct themselves towards that dark elixir storage. So let's see what our friend Burke did. He starts by placing a few archers on that town hall and then sends in a giant on top to possibly trigger that clan castle. And here's why counting the tiles of that clan castle was so important. Because Burke didn't realize that the giant failed to trigger the clan castle. It didn't quite trigger it. He thought that it was empty and began attacking the easiest direction towards the dark elixir storage. He starts by removing the outlying buildings first and then sends in a group of giants in 2 directions to cover more ground, and then places the rage spell to direct his troops inside the base. Now here we can see that the clan castle was not triggered properly. And fortunately there weren't any wizards or even a dragon inside that castle, as that would have totally ruined his plan of breaking into the core. The clan castle is full of barbarians and archers, so it won't be too hard to dispose them in time with the assistance of that rage spell. And now you can see that the barbarian king was able to penetrate inside, and with the lack of defenses covering that core, his archers were able to easily steal all the dark elixir safely on time. But yeah, that was a great raid, and it just goes to show that the clan castle can be tricky sometimes to trigger. So it's essential that you always take the first step to count your tiles and make sure you've triggered it. This is also an excellent example of the types of bases giants are most compatible against. Bases with clumped up defenses and a high propensity of splash defenses or air defenses within the centralized areas of the base. As for whether this composition is better than my usual composition of barbarians, archers, and minions, well, that depends mainly on the types of bases you attack. Take for example this base with the splash defenses in the core and point defenses in the exterior portion of the base. It's most vulnerable against giants rather than BAM. So it all depends on the base you wish to attack. The reason I prefer BAM more is because it's more efficient and consumes less camp space. Giants each take up 5 camp space, and takes a while to train, 2 minutes each. So Giants with Barch is a pretty good composition if one was to boost his barracks. And that will be it for today. Please hit the like button for me if you've liked this video and would like to see more, as well as subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching, and clash on. I hope that phrase isn't too overused.